my name's Amanda Easton. I'm a performer, singer-songwriter from Sydney, Australia. I make retro-inspired, theatrical, electronic pop. But when I'm not doing my own music, I do
cabaret,
cover band gigs, solo gigs, tribute shows, recording sessions. Welcome to my Circle of Life vlog.
But I'll be watching you.
Hello, how are you? I hope you're having a lovely day or evening. Hi, Larry, lovely to see you. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but hi, Jill, how are you going? I hope you're doing okay. Jill is from the Central Coast, and I know some people have been suffering from flooding. So I hope you're doing okay where you are. Thank you for the messages from people checking on me too. We're fine in Leichhardt. We just get wet feet. There's no danger so far. Gosh, the weather's been atrocious. I'm sure, does the news of that kind of thing go overseas? I don't know if you hear that. I suppose it's small fish in the scheme of things. Hi, Denis, lovely to see you. Well, it's just in case you haven't heard, of course, Jill, you have, but we've been having, what are they calling it? Extreme weather events. I think that's what they call it. Hi, Lou, and I hope you're not having any issues with the water as well. We're okay here, just to be clear, but that's because we're probably near the city and there's not a lot of nature, really. So we tend to be a little bit shielded from all that kind of stuff. Kevin, thank you. I tried to look a bit glam today because I'm doing the 70s. Yeah, the news hit Sweden. Oh, well, there you go. I mean, it is pretty terrible, especially when someone's house actually goes down the river. So, there's all sorts of things happening now, and the rain is really coming down, which means the good side of that, one little positive, and we've always got to look for positives, is that, the camera's not very well aimed today, but we have Smoky Cam and we have Smoky actually. Oh, good girl. She knows her angles, doesn't she? So Smoky tends to want to stay indoors and be snuggly when it's rainy, so that's the only positive. So Jill, all good in your street, but a lot of areas are flooded out and roads closed. Yeah, it's a real bummer. And flooding around your property, Lou, but you're okay. Well, that is good, and I hope it doesn't get any worse because it's still raining. It's been raining for days and it's still raining. Hard to believe. I went on a couple of beach weekends just weeks ago and the weather was beautiful. But I know, how clever's Smokey, right on cue, just, you want to see my pretty little face? And it's so pretty, isn't it? Let's just have another look at her because she's so cute. Oh. Right on cue. Here's my pretty little bottom. So Kevin's saying they actually showed, well, you would show it, wouldn't you? The house floating away. Hi, Daz from Twitch. How are you going? Oh, you get a little bit of a view of her face now, but there's mostly her bottom. So we'll see how we do later. But yeah, I mean, TV's, I actually studied TV. I was going to be a TV presenter, news person originally. Well, I don't know that I ever really was going to be, but that's the track that I was on, if you know what I mean. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that kind of thing. Sometimes you find yourself on a track in life that wasn't actually where you intended or even wanted to be. So that happened to me, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about later, actually. But Kevin's point, they showed the house floating away on BBC News. I mean, the first thing we were taught in broadcast journalism for the TV, because I studied TV and radio, was that it's all about the pictures, baby. If you haven't got the pictures, basically it didn't happen when it comes to TV news. And, you notice when they have to it's such a big story, they still have to cover it, but they have to use kind of stock footage that's not telling you much at all, but they have to cover that particular story. But even a story that wouldn't be big, not that this one isn't, but sometimes it's just the pictures are so good. The moving pictures are so good. It becomes a story. So, television obviously is all about the visual. It's a visual medium. So I'm not surprised that poor little house floating down the river became top news all around the world. And I do wonder if no one had that footage, would it be such a big story? But let me see, what else is going on here in Australia? Let's get the bad news out of the way so we can just be happy and play some 70s music. Hi, Sydney. Oh, you're talking with your dad. No worries. Say hello to your dad for me. We've been very fortunate in Australia that we have, haven't had COVID cases for quite a long time. We're still under restrictions. Will the rain wash away? Will the rain wash away the? I'm not clever at my emojis. You'll have to tell me what that is. But yeah, we've been fortunate in Australia with our COVID situation, but we've also been relatively fortunate with our government. I'm not a massive fan of our current government, even though I used to do musical theatre with the Prime Minister. That's another story that I've probably told you before. But we have been receiving support through these difficult times, especially in the music industry. Mind you, we had to kick and stamp our feet before. The trouble with the current Liberal, which is big L Liberal, which doesn't mean liberal. If you look up the dictionary definition of liberal, it's the opposite of what big L Liberal political party stands for. So I know, confusing. Anyway, the Liberal Party is notoriously not a supporter of the arts. And so basically, obviously we just do this for fun and we don't need to make any money, right? So it was only when we went, hey, hello, we're drowning over here, that the government did come to our rescue, but they did. Oh, it's a mouse. Oh, cute. I thought it was another cloud, but I get it now. I'm talking about the emojis, of course, if you're wondering. But yes, eventually the government did come to our rescue and we got decent support. But March, which is almost finished, is the final month that musicians can get JobKeeper, which is the name of the financial support that we get. And even then, not everybody managed to get it. I did, so I'm very thankful. But it is finishing now. And I've just heard, for example, that one of the bookers at the agency that I get a lot of work through will possibly lose her job because it was JobKeeper that was keeping her in her job. And I'm being very fortunate. I've been working at probably 75% of what I normally would. But apparently only 20% of the industry as a whole is back. 20%? I mean, that's shocking. Are we just going to dump those 80% of people in jobs and not give them any more support? We're supposed to be, a fair democracy here that supports our citizens but it's a Liberal government. Anyway, I'm not going to keep talking about politics, but, especially when I know we are in a fortunate position comparatively. And I know my friends in the UK are under lockdown. Probably a lot of the US is under lockdown or certainly struggling, as well as the rest of the world. So hi from Canada, Grant. How are you? Hi, Fred. You have heard about the floods, yes. It's still going on, so cross fingers, but all is okay here. Grace, how are you? Lovely to see you. I hope everything in Japan is going well. But I thought I would play a tongue-in-cheek song to start with. Maybe I sometimes, we all know how powerful music is, right? So I'm hoping if I play this song, the weather gods will listen and the rain will ease. Let's give that a go. And of course, this is a song from the 70s because that's our theme for today. Yeah, you just stay there sleeping, Smokey. You're all right. I can see clearly now the rain's gone. It's not gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that have me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is a rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. Oh, 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 oh. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that held me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Hi, David, how are you? Hi, Barbara from Germany. Lovely to see you here as well. Yeah, right. I know Sydney's saying, can we bottle up the rain and dump it Lake Mead up there? So I often think that about everything, about love, about money, about water. I mean, there's enough to make the world go round, but it's not distributed properly. If only we could do that with everything, that would be good. But for those of you who may have just tuned in, you're thinking, I thought you had floods in Australia, and you're singing, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. What that was wishful thinking. Temmie, lovely to see you from YouTube. How are you? Let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know. So yes, that was, I can see clearly now the rain has gone, even though it definitely hasn't. But you know, actually, Lou, I don't know if you're still here, but you're part of this. When I really discovered the music of the 70s, I don't know, I don't know what I thought about the 70s. I mean, I'm going to do Kate Bush later on, and my parents loved Kate Bush, so I know, and that's the 70s, and I know I discovered that. And ABBA, the underground, I love it. Mysterious. Nice to see you anyway, Temmie. I'm talking to Temmie on YouTube, by the way. I know you can't see his chat. I know, fires, floods, it's all happening. Australia's like that. It's a land of extremes, absolutely. But yes, so hey, Negro. Oh, from the Philippines. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. So yes, I kind of had my, idea of what 70s music was, but then I was, let me see, I think I just left school. No, I just left university when I joined an amateur music theatre production. And Lou, that's where I met you. And I also met another couple of girls, and I joined, they already had it going on. Someone left, and I joined their group. Believe it or not, it was rap. And I am the uncoolest person in the world, and I'm a terrible rapper, but I suppose I could sing. But I joined a rap and singing group, 3 girls. We were called Slap It, SLAPYT. And surprisingly, like, I look back, and I'm not playing you any of the footage because I actually don't think it's very good. But looking back, I don't think we were very good. But we actually had a lot of interest from people. We even did a live song on Triple J Radio, which the Australians will know is like the coolest radio station in Australia, a national, it's like ABC, so it's our national broadcaster, but it's the hip station, so I don't know how that happened, but we did that, and we did lots of festivals, and it was the first kind of proper band I was in. Sometimes we actually had musicians, sometimes we had backing tracks because it was a hip-hoppy kind of thing, and we danced and did all of that. But I met these girls doing a musical show, Blondie Forever. Yeah, I love Blondie. Blondie's a little bit 70s, isn't she? 70s, 80s, 90s, just they keep going forever. So that's one of the things I love about them. They traverse genres and decades. But so this music theatre society, amateur music theatre society, it was the show we were doing was West Side Story. And I know I've showed you this photo before, but when you can name drop, I'm naming drop by photo. This is me in the show, and you probably don't recognise him, but that is Hugh Jackman. And he was starting out, obviously, and because it was just, community theatre. And he was amazing, even back then, and the loveliest bloke you could ever hope to meet. But one of the girls that I met during this show, who I ended up being in Slap It with, actually introduced me to 70s disco. And obviously I'd, heard bits and pieces here and there, but I didn't realise how much I'd love it. I loved the fashion, the glitter and the sequins, and she really loved Donna Summer. And so, Hot Stuff and Bad Girl and all those kind of songs I hadn't really, maybe I'd kind of heard on the radio, oldies radio, that stuff is just played forever, but I wasn't really that familiar with it. And she really gave me a love of 70s disco. And some of you have or know of my EP, Disco Disconnected. That's where that has come from. It's kind of a mix of old 70s stuff and more modern beats. So I thought I would actually play you some video of the Disco Disconnected launch, which was at a venue called Slide in Oxford Street in Sydney, which is a very, very gay, very glam part of town. So they have great venues. But this is... this represents me, I reckon, because it's a mix of the 70s and it's a mix of now. I hope you like this. Oh, where are his claws? Smokey's? Are you talking about Smokey? She's a she, by the way. Not that she'll mind. No, we're still getting the bum. I'm sure she'll turn around later on. Oh, no, you're talking about Hugh Jackman. Took me a while. This was a little while before Wolverine. I do love those movies, though.
Don't you think you'd better make this a virgin margarita? Oh yes, you better. Tearing up his tearing. You are apart, and 3 a.m. is no place to start. Seduce. Lick that wash, the mirrors crack, my dad was coming in. A leather dress, please make a date to confess, to confess. The disco disconnected, disco
So there you go. That's actually not the video I meant to play you just now, but that's okay. That is Disco Disconnected, obviously the single. And it was actually filmed at the same venue that I was talking about, which is called Slide Lounge in Oxford Street in Darlinghurst in Sydney. And interestingly enough, the guy that appears in the video, Pavi, was a makeup artist that I met when I was actually filming a small acting role in a Trop Fest video, and we just hit it off straight away. And I just said, "Do you want to be in my video? I think you'd be great." And I bought that silver suit that he was wearing, and I said, "I know you'll look great in this." And he just, he loved it. Thank you, guys. The video I meant to play you is the actual live footage of the launch we did that mashes up some 70s and some current stuff, but I'll play that in a little while instead. So this next song is 70s, extremely different. I'm actually not going to do a lot of disco today because it's quite hard to do disco to get that, well, for me, I'm not good enough to get the funk thing happening and, you know, the disco vibes just on piano. But thank you, that was interesting. I'm not sure if that's an insult or not, David. It's like when people go, that was, yeah, she's really nice. I'm sure you didn't mean that because you're very nice. But interesting is good. Interesting is definitely good. Thank you, Fred. But this next song, I did a gig at the Star Casino that I do regularly on Sunday, and I'm working there this Thursday again. And the management definitely encourage requests, which is tricky, you know, because sometimes I'm lolling at your lol, David. Sometimes, you know, it's just really hard to play on the spot. So what I do, I, you know, link my little iPad up to the internet and pull down charts and do my best. Only when I have actually heard the song before. Otherwise, you know, too hard. But this next song, of course, I've heard like the rest of the world many times, but I've never sung it. It tends to be sung mainly by men, I suppose. But yes, certainly I'd heard it on the radio. So I thought, oh, I'll give that a go. And I played it and the whole place erupted. They just loved it. And it wasn't because I played it particularly well. It's just one of those songs I think that people love. And I thought, well, you know what? That was 70s. Maybe I'll give that a go again. So it's not disco, it's not glam, it's the total opposite end of the spectrum, but I hope you like it. It's kind of long, but it's a story, so you can't really cut out verses, I don't think. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can sing along, even though I won't hear you, unfortunately. On a warm summer's evening. Hang on, I need reverb. On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere. I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us and he began to speak. He said, son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what their cards are by the way they held their eyes. And if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice. So I handed him the bottle and he drank down my last swallow, bummed a cigarette, and he asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet and his face lost all expression. Said, if you're gonna play the game, you gotta learn to play it right. Ooh, so many words. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. And then it goes and changes key just to confuse everybody. Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing where to throw away and what to keep. 'Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser. And the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. And when he finished speaking, he turned back towards the window, crushed out his cigarette and faded off to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even, but in his final words found an ace that I could keep. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. Time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. Time enough for counting when the dealing's done. It is a great song, isn't it? I'm sorry I don't really do it justice, but it's just there's something about that song. It's such a good story, and I mean it's Kenny Rogers. You got to love Kenny Rogers, huh? Oh, thank you so much, Barbara. I know it's really late, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me. I've been getting these messages saying encoding overloaded. So I hope you guys are still hearing everything okay. Nothing looks different from my end except this thing flashes up every now and again. Encoding overloaded. Ooh, sounds very cyber. Okay, something a little different again. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You can't just categorize one whole decade in one way. And it's interesting, I think it takes a couple of decades after to really get the full picture of that decade before. So you think a few years ago in Australia, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere in the world, the 80s had a massive resurgence. And I was in a band, of course, in an 80s tribute band. I'm the tribute queen. I'm, tribute to every decade, which, I love. But I was in a band called Never Ending 80s, which was just massive. We would get thousands and thousands of people to gigs all over the place just because people wanted to relive because it was mainly people that would have been in their teens and 20s in the 80s that were coming to the gigs. So you can really see that that's who gets attracted to that particular decade because they want to relive their youth. And, okay, Sydney. Yes, Fred. He's mentioning Goldfrapp, which, you know, is probably my favourite band of all time. And they're a massive influence on me. And I love the fact that they've got a lot of 70s rhythms and 70s vibes in their music, but it's really current as well. So I would say they're probably the number one biggest influence on me. Definitely a big 70s thing. And also with the way that Alison Goldfrapp dresses. Like me, she's really into flares and kind of the whole glam thing is very her as well. You can definitely see the 70s influence with them. But yes, I don't know if this is the same around the world too. It probably is. But the 90s are having their moment at the moment. But I feel like that the 90s didn't feel as distinct in the style of fashion as well as the music until more recently. And I think that's because there's more distance. I mean, you know, the 90s was probably my era when I was out and about and, you know, I'm thinking back to that era now of, you know, oh, my sweet youth. And there's a lot of 90s actresses and actors getting a resurgence as well as the music. And there's a lot of cover bands. I am not in a 90s tribute band. What's going on? Don't know. Aricio, lovely to see you again. Lovely. So yes, I think you kind of don't define a decade until it's really gone, because it's not as if on the 1st of January 1970 until the 31st of December 1979 that, you know, that's only when the music and the fashion was happening. Obviously, it's when that stuff's happening, you don't go, oh, I'm in the 70s, and so this is the thing. It's only really that retrospect that you look back, and I think you can really get a picture of that decade. But if you look at the 70s, obviously disco was massive, but then there was rock, you know, Led Zeppelin and all that fantastic stuff, glam rock, which I really like. But there were also other stuff happening that, you know, you don't necessarily categorise as 70s, even though it was happening in the 70s. And this is, oh, I'm getting that message again. Encoding overloaded. I don't know what I'm doing to make it overload. Anyway, this is a song from the Carpenters, which were big in the 70s, of course.
Long ago, and oh so far away, I fell in love with you before the second show. Your guitar, it sounds so sweet and clear, but you're not really here. It's just the radio. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? Said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do. Loneliness is such a sad affair, and I can hardly wait to be with you again. What to say to make you come again? Come back to me again and play your sad guitar.
this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? Said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you, I really do. Oh, thank you. That's a big compliment, Kevin. I love the tone in Karen's voice. She's got that depth, hasn't she? Can't play drums at all, though, me. She could. So if you could feature in a 90s tribute... Hi, Dan, how are you? Who would you be tributing? I would have to say Alanis. She was 90s, wasn't she? I've got that era right. Yeah, I think Alanis. I used to do a lot of Alanis in the beginning of my cover band career, probably because it was the 90s. And I just, yeah, that feels like that's an album of my era, that first Jagged Little Pill, for sure. How cool are the Carpenters though, right? I mean, yes, you've always loved that song. Me too. I feel like my song, I'm not comparing myself to the Carpenters, don't worry, but I feel like the theme of that song is a little bit like my Girl in the Song. Girl in the Song is a song from my latest album, Wallflower, plug. You can get it on iTunes or Bandcamp or just about everywhere. But that song is about a girl who thinks she is the subject of somebody's song. Whether she is or not is debatable, and I don't know either because these things take on a life of their own. But she could be a bit of a stalker, which I feel like this song is a little bit of stalking as well. Oh, Stu, the notification didn't come up. That's a bummer. I am having some technical issues today, and I do wonder if we can blame the rain because, I don't know, it doesn't sound quite right, but the rain does affect the internet. Anyway, Sheena was more 80s. I have to do Sheena next week. Obviously, 80s is coming next. I'm going decade by decade. And, you know, I have to do Auntie Sheena, don't I? So I will do a Sheena Easton song for sure. But earlier I was talking about the launch of my previous EP, Disco Disconnected. And we did the launch at the same place that you saw that music video from. And I think this does sum up what I was going for in that particular EP and probably continue to. I like my retro sounds a lot, but I also like a lot of things that are current as well. And I suppose Portishead would have been 90s. That's one of my all-time favourite groups as well. Or that might be Naughties. I'd have to look up the date on that one. But here is the opening song. So this is some live footage from the Disco Disconnected launch, which combines some kind of 70s and some current stuff. Hi, Chip. How are you? Nice to see you. And Stu, yes, you were there. You were there in the room. David, I know we miss our nightlife, huh? And Chip, to answer your question, thank you, by the way. My hot friend is Jo Elms, and she's the one that you'll hear me talk about quite a lot with a lot of different gigs that I do. I mean, she's one of my best friends as well, but we do a lot of work together. Thank you, Larry. And in fact, we've got a gig at the Marconi Club this Friday with Sing Little Sister, which is our duo. So me on piano and vocals and Jo on guitar and vocals. Thank you, Fred. And that kind of thing that you just watched then is what I'm going to do for my Wallflower launch. For those who don't know, Wallflower is my current album. The CDs and the downloads are out now on iTunes and Bandcamp and everywhere, but the vinyl is coming in a couple of months. Thank you, Jill. But that kind of setup where you see the live drummer and the guitarist and a DJ is what I'm planning to do on July 22nd. So if you're not already on my mailing list, this is the link to go to. Oh, by the way, that is my tip jar link. If you feel like tipping my performance at any time, it's always appreciated. That's paypal.me/Amanda Easton Music. But what I wanted to show you was this link. That's my website. And if you go to the /free music link, if you're not already on my mailing list, if you're already on my mailing list, you've got that all happening. But if you're not, make sure you jump on, because I'll send you some free tracks, but I'll also send you an early bird VIP link to get tickets to the live stream. They're going to be pretty cheap anyway, let me tell you, especially since it's in Australian dollars. It'll be, for the Americans, it'll be, a couple of cups of coffee, not even. But, and same with my British friends too. The Australians, it'll still be cheap. But I'm going to send you out very soon, if you're on the mailing list, I'm going to send you a link to early bird tickets, which also include a couple of brand new mixes of songs from Wallflower. So you only get those mixes if you get early bird VIP tickets to the stream. So this is the live stream launch of Wallflower, which is going to be a real event as well. So Stu and other Sydney-based people, it'd be awesome if you could come, but put the day in your diary. It's July 22nd, near my birthday, so that means it'll be a double celebration. And I'm going to have DJ, drums, guitar. Jo's going to come and do my backing vocals because I don't think I can do a gig without her, basically. And I'm going to do a similar thing that you saw on that launch footage for Disco Disconnected. Different venue, though. This time it's the Civic in Civic Underground, it's called, which is in the middle of Sydney, which is a great venue. And the reason I chose it is specifically because they've got a really good live stream set up, because obviously that's never been an issue before. I've never really considered that, but I want my overseas friends to be able to see it in good quality. So it's like a multi-camera, really high production standards kind of a venue. So I hope you can come either online or in person to the Wallflower launch. It's going to be lots of fun. I'm sure, like I did with that one, I'll throw in some mashups and some covers as well. But it's mainly going to be the actual Wallflower album, maybe a couple of songs from other albums too. So that's July 22nd. And if you aren't already on my mailing list, big hand, please go and visit that link and join up. You can unsubscribe anytime if I get annoying. I send emails about once every 2 weeks. But yeah, free tracks and all sorts of fun stuff. And you'll get the early bird link to the tickets, which I'm not releasing tickets to other people for another month or so. Oh, thank you. You probably have to put my birthday card in the mail in June. Although the mail's been good lately, hasn't it? It's been getting here quicker than usual. David, I would love to come to Houston and do that performance. It would be my absolute pleasure. I hope I can make that happen one day. All right, so I wanted to go all over the 70s, as I said. I've got Kate Bush coming up, and I have got a disco song coming up as well. But in the meantime, you know I'm a big dag and I love daggy music. I think this song definitely can be categorized as daggy or cheesy or whatever you want to call it, but I love it. And I'm just not going to apologize for liking daggy stuff. I'm just going to do this song. Love those chords. Where do I begin to tell the story of how great a love can be? The sweet love story that is older than the sea. The simple truth about the love she brings to me. Where do I start? With her first hello, she gave new meaning to this empty world of mine. There'll never be another love, another time. She came into my life and made the living fine. She fills my heart. She fills my heart with very special things, with angel songs and wild imaginings. She fills my soul with so much love, and everywhere I go, I'm never lonely. With her alone, who could be lonely? I reach for her hand, it's always there. How long does it last? Can love be measured by the hours in a day? I have no answers now, but this much I can say. I know I'll need her till the stars all burn away, and she'll be there. Oh, Andy Williams. It's not daggy, is it? It's cool. I think it's cool. Yes, world tour, please. I would love that. US, UK, and Europe. Absolutely. I have had the pleasure of doing a little tour throughout Europe and the UK before, not in the US. So I need to remedy that. Let's get this virus under wraps and it will happen. Oh, I've also got some Fleetwood Mac, because I think in the 70s you pretty much have to do Fleetwood Mac. But in the meantime, actually, I'll tell you the story about this song. It's a good one. Helen Reddy, who we lost not long ago, and as you probably know, was an Australian singer who did very well, particularly in the US, I'm assuming in the UK as well. And she had her big hit, I Am Woman, which is probably 70s, might have been 60s. Anyway, I'm not doing that one, but she got given a demo from a songwriter of a new song. And, you know, the idea was a songwriter would send out records in those days, a demo of the song that they wanted some big singer to be able to sing for them. And Helen Reddy got a copy of this, and it was sitting on her side table for quite a while, and she just couldn't bring herself to put it on the turntable and play it. She kept looking at it and just going, oh, just doesn't appeal to me. This is just the look of it, right? And that's because the word killing was in the title. And she obviously very much regretted it when it became an international, worldwide, which is the same as international, hit for this next singer who you will know, Roberta Flack. strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. I heard he sang a good song, I heard he had a style, and so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life in his words, killing me softly with his song. I felt all flushed with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. I felt he'd found my letters and read each one out loud. I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept right on, strumming my pain with his fingers and singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life in his words, killing me softly with his song. He sang as if he knew me in all my dark despair, and then he looked right through me as if I wasn't there, and he just kept on singing, singing clear and strong, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life in his words, killing me softly with his song. So that was in the 70s that Roberta Flack released that. And of course in the 90s or the noughties, the Fugees did a version of it as well. But I got to say, I do love Roberta Flack's version, I think, a little bit better. So I've got to do the animal thing right. I love the animal thing. Oh, no, Daz is asking about Bandcamp. There's also CDs. The CDs are available now. I think a lot of people here have actually already got their versions. Oh, thank you so much, Daz. You're awesome. So, yes, the actual CD of Wallflower is the latest one I have. I have lots of CDs now, but the Wallflower version is available on CD now. So I want to do the animal thing, and, you know, I love playing funny animal videos because, you know, animals are cute. That reminds me, let's just have a little look at Smokey. How's she going? Oh, we're getting the face and the bottom. Look at the little mouth on her. She's a cutie. But this, I mean, have you ever heard of a sloth and a cat being friends? I got to say, if it were possible, and for many reasons it's not, but if it were possible, I would have a pet sloth They are the cutest. Here we go.
Well, you done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to beat you, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks.
Here's the Wolverine claws. You were
Now I'm
asking
trying
about,
to
Sydney. Look
get
at
back.
those. It's totally Wolverine.
Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my bestest, and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn